Hello, everybody.
Hi.
Hello, everyone.
It's been a little bit.
It feels like it has, but it really only been 1 week.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
but technically it's been 2 weeks because we skipped
Yeah.
the 1 week,
Right.
and that was pretty much purely because Monster Hunter Sunbreak came out and I wanted to play it.
The most nobles.
Yeah.
Most nobles. God damn it.
Are you okay, Giga?
No.
Okay. So there's a little bit to talk about.
Oh, there's a lot of
Yeah.
stuff to talk about.
Do
None
we
of
want?
it good.
Yeah. Do we want to start with the not good thing?
Which one?
The creator of Yu-Gi-Oh died.
Yeah, that is so sad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, goddamn, he was like what, 60, I think.
Yeah. And the way he died, it's just so
Yeah.
shocking.
So for
That's
people,
young for Japan.
yeah, for people that don't know how this guy died, he was found dead in like snorkeling gear in the water, and they think that he was actually dead for a couple of days before he was found.
Jeez.
Yeah,
And that's freak accident.
yeah, like they only found him because a passing boat like called into the police.
hmm
Wow.
I cannot pronounce his name, so I'm not going to try.
Oh, I should probably look at the name again. Let's see.
I think it's Takahashi.
Kazuki Takahashi.
Yeah, it really bummed me out when I saw it this morning.
Yeah, like that's goddamn. Someone else died in the last week, and
Mhm.
people might only know who he is if they follow Minecraft YouTube. Technoblade died.
Yeah.
And that shocked the hell out of me to see that go down.
Well, it didn't surprise me that it happened. It surprised me that it happened so soon.
Yeah.
And I think that I haven't looked into this at all. I think that he voluntarily did it because he wasn't going to get cured. Because if people don't know, Technoblade had cancer, and like he made a last video, which tells me, yeah, he went in willingly, and it wasn't just like it took him by surprise or anything.
Yeah, I didn't know that part.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't follow Technoblade, but I was aware of him because I'm part of Dream's fandom, and Dream and Technoblade had this thing going.
I only knew about Technoblade through the memes,
Uh,
but it was still hearing that happen. I was like, I don't know, just YouTube. When you a young YouTuber dying, when you're a YouTuber yourself, it's
Yeah.
different than seeing like a celebrity pass away.
yeah, I mean,
I
you
guess.
could argue that within the Minecraft fandom, he was a celebrity.
Oh yeah, I'm not saying that. I mean like a Hollywood celebrity.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I just wasn't expecting to open Twitter and see the news about Technoblade.
Same. Did you see they put a little tribute on the Minecraft launcher for him?
I am aware of it because it was in Exuma's like video thumbnail thing.
It was like it was cute. They gave the pig a crown.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, I'm only like obliquely aware of that side of Minecraft YouTube with like Technoblade and a bunch of other people that I can't recall offhand because they have been in one way or another involved with Dream, and I am not as into the Dream fandom as some other people, but I do watch him, and I'm aware of the people that he associates with.
Mm-hmm. Now you want to hear a third person just died like literally 20 minutes ago before we started recording.
Oh God, who?
Yeah.
The former Prime Minister of Japan was assassinated.
Oh, Jesus.
What?
Jeez.
Yeah, he was shot in the back with a homemade shotgun.
Huh.
Wow.
Jesus.
That's not who I thought you were talking about.
Wait,
Oh,
who
who
did
else
you
died?
think we were talking
Jesus
about?
Christ.
James Caan.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
that I
was
knew
sad.
about.
I don't know who that
Godfather,
is.
Jesus. An actor who's in The Godfather.
Oh,
Great
okay.
actor.
Yeah, when you said somebody died like 20 minutes ago, I was like, oh, that's probably James Caan he's talking about. No, wow.
Oh, no, the
Why
Prime
are
Minister was
so many
the
people are
former Prime
dying?
Minister was assassinated.
You don't really hear about assassinations anymore.
No, you don't. That's why it took me by surprise. It was like the first thing I saw when the internet came out. I was like, oh, shit.
Crazy stuff.
Yeah.
Why are people dropping like flies in the last week?
No, it's
The end
kind
of
of
the world.
scary.
Yeah.
It's the end of the world.
We had a similar thing going, I think, in like
2016, I think.
it was either
Oh.
2016 or 2017.
Yeah, like celebrities dropped like flies.
Yeah. And like I remember everyone was like frightened watching like Twitter trends and stuff, and people
Yeah.
were pulling pranks trying to get like Maggie Smith and Betty White and people trending so that everyone else would think, oh god, are they dead?
Exactly. Yeah, it's like every time you see a celebrity name trending, it's like, oh god, don't tell me
Yeah.
they died.
I think that gave all of us PTSD because
Yeah.
even now when
Mhm.
when a celebrity is trending and there hasn't been like some major like drama thing, people automatically think, oh god, who died?
Yeah.
It's either who died or who got canceled.
Yeah. It's just even
Like-
more like it's even more of a sad thing now because I think Betty White actually is dead.
Yes.
Yeah, she died a while back.
Yeah. But when all this was going on in like 2017, she wasn't dead yet. And people like Betty White especially, but also Maggie Smith, who plays Professor McGonagall in the Harry Potter films, they were getting on in years, and there were sort of like not memes, but like comments about how they're outliving all these people.
Especially when Maggie Smith is a cancer survivor too.
Yeah.
And if I remember correctly, Betty White was actually amused by all the rumors of her deaths
Oh, she
over the
loved it.
years.
She
Yeah.
loved it. She got a kick out of it.
Yeah.
I gotta say, God bless her. She was 99 when she died, and she still had a sense of humor.
Yeah.
Now, remind me, was Maggie Smith a cancer survivor before she started working in the Harry Potter
It
films?
was while it was filming.
Which film?
3, I think her treatment started for breast cancer.
That's interesting because in the 7th book, Professor McGonagall survives like I forget what it's called. It's like the stunning curse stupefy.
Yeah.
She survives multiples of those to the chest, and it was kind of like made a little bit of a big deal out of. And I'm just wondering, okay, was that Rowling paying tribute to the fact that Maggie Smith survived cancer?
7th book was when the 7th book came out long after the. Yeah, it might have been.
Because breast cancer and McGonagall survived curses to the chest.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Well, definitely inspiration for Rowling.
Yeah. So did anyone else die in the last 2 weeks?
Oh no.
Well, yes, many did on the 4th of July, but that's an entirely different subject.
Well,
Celebrity-wise? No.
let's not talk about the 4th of July.
Yeah, let's not.
Yeah.
Like we're a little bit more unfiltered on this podcast, but there's still some things that I just don't want to talk about on YouTube.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that one.
So, I don't know, do you want to talk about how we have to do this an hour later?
Yeah, that's my fault, everybody.
Well, that's not your
You almost
fault.
got another week without podcast.
Yeah.
Oh, power.
Yeah, the power went out in what, your entire city?
Yeah. The entire city's power went out, and we don't have an answer why yet.
Impressive.
Power's back up and running, though, but...
It's impressive
Like,
that it happened in New York State.
No, it's not. We always get power outages
Yeah.
here.
Do you?
Yes. New York State, National Grid sucks. That's my money.
On to happier things. Did you watch the latest Double Life episode?
Uh-huh.
The only thing that I have to say about it is that I love the part where Pearl comes in saying, "Hey guys, careful, there's a warden coming," and Green's just like, "What?"
yeah, and the warden just trots across the field.
That does sound great.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Did you watch the thing that I linked at you? The clip of Scar's video.
Oh, I watched the whole video after I watched that clip.
Yeah.
That was
It's
funny.
like it's so much funnier from Scar's perspective because you just hear Green in the background.
And it's like, I'm surprised. It's like he had. I know he didn't know, but it's like that's impressive. He's that oblivious.
Yeah. I mean, that's part of why we love Scar.
Yeah. And it's just like the more you realize he wasn't playing around, the funnier it gets.
Yeah.
And no, that warden scene where that was the funniest shit I've seen in Minecraft in a long time.
Oh yeah.
And all that had me thinking is, can the warden be weaponized?
Probably.
Oh, I already know how to weaponize it. It's crazy what you can do with that thing.
So, like, Impulse and Skiz, on that note, Skiz isn't in Double Life, and that surprises me. But Impulse and Skiz have this series that they call Naked and Scared, and it's just like a 21 Minecraft day challenge where they have to do some batshit insane thing on ultra hardcore. And their latest one was capture and name a warden, and they managed it on day 10.
That's
Wow.
impressive because I know that is not a feat for the light of heart.
Close enough.
Let's go with it.
I'm
Close
drinking
enough.
alcohol, so I'm drinking alcohol.
But they have all
Faint
these
to heart.
yeah, they have all these restrictions in place on their Naked and Scared series. Like, they can't craft armor, they can't craft suspicious stew. I don't think they can craft golden apples. They definitely can't craft potions. And new to this particular challenge was they can't trade with villagers because they abuse that every single time. Adding to that, they're on ultra hardcore, which means that they don't automatically regen health, and they basically finished the challenge with full health because they were that careful about it.
Especially considering the warden can one-shot you with a sonic hyper beam.
Yeah.
Like that. This is the first mob I've honestly been afraid of in Minecraft.
Well, you're not afraid of the phantoms?
Oh god, no! They're just birds that you can whack when they're coming down on you.
You know, a funny thing, actually, the Mobuluma on Protochroma is vaguely inspired by the Phantom.
Really?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Like, not in any noteworthy way, but like the Phantom is part of the reason why I made it. So.
Oh, it is an awesome creature you created there.
Yeah. It was kind of experimental, and I enjoy it. So I
It
just
came out
finished.
very nice.
I just finished another creature the other day, and
Nice.
you do not get to see what it is, but I like it. It might not come out for a while though.
I'm sure it'll be worth it.
I think
Mhm.
Giga might have seen it. I'm not sure. I can't keep track of what I've shown him.
You have shown me a lot of things.
Yeah, boyfriend probably just.
I created a new Pokemon over the week.
Nice.
Oh, I shouldn't say. Oh, I made 2 of the 3.
Mm.
And if I can bring it up, I have my desktop's a mess because I've been making a layout for a new series I'm working on.
Ah.
Here's Drubig.
Let's see.
The shiny is the green one.
Oh, you're in general.
Oh shit! I always forget.
I actually forgot we were still in general.
Well, this is gonna be in general for now.
Yeah, it's fine.
I really
And
like it. It's
thank
so
you.
cute.
It's evolution.
Ooh.
This is one of my favorite ones I've made so far.
Neat.
I love them both.
Thank you. I hope I'm able to keep that vibe it has into its final
Yeah.
evolution. Bludgeon Fly.
Hmm.
Where's my Pokedex entries? Because you're gonna love the Pokedex entries for Crystalline, at least. That's. I had everyone who's seen the Pokedex entries for him laughed,
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
especially for Crystalline. I mean,
Is it as much of a shitpost as the stick bug that I made?
it's a good ship. Well, it's not really a ship.
Good lord.
It's a good warning about oversaturating the economic markets.
Oh.
I took inspiration from Mansa Musa for it.
Okay, so what I would do with that is not cause an economic crisis across the known world and just do it within the region.
This wasn't from the region. It was Galar. This is the way Varara works. It's like a giant nature preserve for Pokemon that shouldn't either are going extinct, their habitats are being destroyed, or they need to be taken out away from people.
Hmm.
This is that Pokemon that needs to be taken away from people because it was being made into a money farm.
Ah.
So it was sent to Varara to not be around people.
I just have a mental image of them trying to put like Altar and Charizard into this place because it should not be around people.
It probably would fit in the region because Varara is a very hostile region, both people and Pokemon.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure that Altar and Charizard would just be the next apex predator.
Oh, probably.
And thus you doomed the entire region.
Well, there are godlike Pokemon in my region, so it might have a good. Oh, those are all technically asleep, so no. I would like to see it go up against Deep Sea Gyarados, though. Which, lore-wise, is supposed to be stronger than Mega Gyarados, base form.
Keep in mind that Altar and Charizard evolved in an environment that has Altar and Gyarados and Altar and
True.
Garchomp.
I'm curious. I'm just curious because the Deep Sea Pokemon are supposed to be like, even the weakest is still a super strong creature, except Magikarp, because Magikarp. That's one thought process I've gone with every Deep Sea Pokemon I've made. Is this Pokemon is the apex predator of everything, and it's in the underwater area. Like every single one can be considered an apex predator because of the harsh environment it had to evolve in and survive in would make it strong. Except for Magikarp. Magikarp is...
I mean, Altaran Magikarp is I don't even know if it's considered a predator, but like, it's not a pushover.
Mine is.
Not.
Yeah.
In my dex entry, it literally says the dullest are the only ones that survive. Because when they're too bright, predators will eat them.
Ah.
So literally, the dullest survive.
Nice. I like the double meaning there.
Thank you.
So, in other news, I'm coming to everyone from Washington State,
Nice.
all the way on the other side of the country from where I normally am.
You want to tell everyone about your experiences at the airport?
Oh boy. This journey was one of the craziest plane journeys I've ever been on. So, first of all, starting off in Dulles Airport, get into the airport, everything's fine. Get through security, no problem. And shortly before my first plane is, getting ready to get going and everything, I get a text, and everything saying that the plane has been delayed from 10:35 p.m. to 12:05 p.m. or a.m. I should say. And so all of a sudden, like that entire gate, everybody was just freaking out. There were people taking pictures of the monitor and everything, just and with a really vague message too. Let me see if I can quickly find it in my texts.
I've been hearing they're having a lot of issues with air travel recently.
Right. So the message that we got was members of your crew are arriving late because of a maintenance-related schedule disruption.
Huh.
Which,
it's not ominous at all.
No, it isn't, right? So anyway, time went on, and right as it was getting time to leave again, it got delayed to 12:20. And then after that, it got delayed again to 1:15. And shortly after that, the person at the gate says, finally says, so actually, no, I think it was after the explanation came after that. So then we got the word that it looks like the flight will have an overnight delay. Go to customer service to get a hotel voucher, and so as soon as they said that, everybody at the gate just started sprinting towards customer service. I wasn't about to sprint because I just wasn't in the mood for it. So, I kind of start following everybody else. And as I was calling my mom to tell her about this, because by the way, the entire time, I was telling her that, just through text that it was delayed again, whatever. And I decided to call her because like that last one was a crazy,
Yeah, that's
but anyway, as I was, walking down there, all of a sudden people from the gate start coming back saying, and thankfully a couple of them recognized me from the gate and said, "Hey, the flight's back on. We're going."
That's I wonder if they did that on purpose to try to get people off the plane so they can get more people on. Like they're
no. So what had happened? They finally explained it. So I guess the flight that our scheduled crew was previously on had been caught up in a thunderstorm and was flying around the airport trying to get a safe way in, and it flew around for so long that it ate into the pilot's hours and he couldn't legally fly anymore.
Oh wow.
Um, and also something to do with like there's a mandated 9 hours of rest that pilots have to go through.
Mhm.
Um,
I'm kind of glad for that.
something to do with that. Yeah. And my thing with it is if they had just told us that from the beginning, still
Oh
would have
yeah,
been annoyed, yes. But at the same time, it would have been like, oh, okay. I understand that. You're trying to find a legal way to get us into the air. That's fine. But no, they just kept delaying the flight later and later, kind of rude.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm sure that could have led to God knows what kind of thought process.
Yeah. Yeah. But
But oh well.
anyway, finally get on that flight, going to my next stop, which was Newark Airport,
Oh boy.
Newark Liberty Airport.
Gross.
And holy shit, if I never, ever go into Newark Liberty International Airport ever again, it'll be too soon.
That's
So
fair.
that airport is a maze. Uh, so I land, and at first I just kind of take things slowly. I go into a shop that has like self-service type stuff and look around. Never, don't even end up buying anything. Then look to see where my gate might be, and I have to change terminals. And normally in an airport, changing terminals isn't that big of a deal. You just, take a tram or whatever to the other terminal, and it's fine. At Newark, it is a problem. Because you see, at first I see a terminal to terminal, uh, you know, shuttle bus, and I'm like, oh, cool, I can take that. Well, I go up to where it is, and nope, not in service currently. Please use the air train. Okay, so I start following signs for the air train, and as I'm following these signs, all of a sudden I end up on the other side of security.
The hell kind of backwards airport is this?
And not only do I end up on the other side of security, all of a sudden there are no more signs for the air train.
Oh no.
So I wander around a bit just in the little area I'm in. I eventually just decide to ask someone who works there, how do I get to the air train? She's like, oh yeah, just go through this hallway, you'll eventually see it. Okay. So I go through the hallway, and it is this incredibly long hallway filled with security checkpoints, but like it's what, 3 a.m., so there's nobody there. It is empty. But there's still just that maze of tape fences. And it is creepy as hell. Like it felt like some real backroom shit. Anyway, I make my way through this creepy hallway, and I finally see the thing for the air train. It's right in front of me. Except, what do you know? My path is blocked by tape fences.
Oh no.
I just go under them.
I don't blame you at that point.
Anyway, I get on the air train. I get to the area where my gate or where the terminal is, and at first, when I get out of the air train, I kind of think, wait, did I just accidentally skip security? Because the signs above me are displaying specific gates. Gate B whatever to whatever this way, gate B whatever whatever this other way. And normally when you see signs like that, you're in the terminal. You're not, in the lobby anymore of the airport. I'm like, what the fuck is happening? You know, did I skip security? No, I didn't. That's just the way Newark Airport is. Because I start following the signs to my gate, and what do you know? I have to go through security again. Normally, you don't have to go through security a second time when you're traveling,
Nope.
but And so that, of course, because of that, I wasn't assuming I'd go through security again. I had already kind of half unpacked my backpack that I was using as a carry-on, so that was a mess. Thankfully there was barely anybody there in security. But anyway, get through security, go to my gate. I spend maybe an hour or two at my gate because it's still several hours to my next flight. Because I would have had a 7-hour layover. So even with the 3-hour delay, or 4-hour delay, however long it was, still not a big deal. And at some point, I start getting this weird feeling that something isn't right. And I don't see any monitors around for departures, so I just check my flight on FlightAware. And I see that it's not in the gate that it was displayed on my boarding pass, but another gate that happens to also be a B gate. And normally in an airport, if you're going from one B gate to another B gate, it's no problem. In Newark, it is. Because you see, I start going out from the area I'm in towards where the other B gates are, and all of a sudden I see the sign that's saying, that's saying like, this is the way out back outside security. Oh no. So thankfully there's like a security guard there. So I go up to him and ask him, "Hey, is there a way for me to get to gate B44 without going through security again?" He goes, "No."
Oh no.
Did your gate get changed? I was like, "Yeah." So, you know,
It's
start
a
going towards
goddamn
gate
nightmare.
B44, and what do you know? I have to go through security a third time in this journey. And it was funny because, I get to the person that checks the boarding passes, and she looks at my boarding pass and goes, this this isn't the way to this gate." And I'm like, "I know, my gate changed."
I mean, at that
Uh,
point, they could just help you to your plane themselves. 'Cause that's so backwards. That kind
uh,
of run around.
Yeah.
but
Giga.
I get through security again, and I get to the gate, and it's the right gate. Nothing else goes wrong in the trip. But if
Thank
something else
God.
had gone wrong, I probably would have actually broken down on the floor crying.
Oh God.
Because
Was that
I was very close.
Giga? I remember when I visited you, and the Atlanta airport was just so fucking confusing.
Yeah, I do remember that.
I've been through Atlanta before. It was nowhere near as bad as Newark.
It was still kind of bad though.
Yeah.
This just makes me glad I don't fly.
I like flying, but I don't like the whole uh, trying to walk around and find your gate after there's been a problem.
And this is why I'm glad I have a very simple airport.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
your airport is the simplest one that I've been in. And granted, I've only been in like 4 airports, but one of them I never want to go back to.
Uh, but yeah, just Newark Airport is an absolute nightmare.
It
Uh,
really does sound like it. But that's Newark as in Newark, New Jersey, right?
yes.
That explains it. New Jersey's a shit state. And I say that unapologetically as a New Yorker who comes from a shit state.
Fair.
God
I did
damn, you
get
went through an
some
ordeal.
nice pictures of Central Washington from my airplane from Seattle to Pasco, Washington. Let's see here. Oh, my files are too powerful.
Oh.
Fine, I'll send fewer images. Can I do 4? No. Let's just choose one of these to not send then. 3. There we go. There's one uploaded. Well, whatever. I'll leave that going. But yeah, it was so nice. Like, because it was in a really tiny plane, the type that you have to walk out onto the tarmac to get into and out of,
Hey, you're on a puddle jumper.
Yeah.
Okay.
But like, it was so nice getting out onto the tarmac in the Pasco airport because, contrary to what a lot of people might think, Central Washington is basically a desert. So just feeling that nice dry air when I've been just miserable in the humidity of the East Coast was just a blessing.
I've never experienced dry air before.
It's wonderful.
It is.
What the fuck?
What?
I found a shell rune.
But yeah, my pictures uploaded of Central Washington.
Nice.
Oh, those are gorgeous.
Yes.
You really were in a puddle jumper, Jesus, man.
Yeah.
That's a level of bravery to get on a puddle jumper.
Why is that?
It's a puddle jumper. They're not
Yeah.
known for their
I mean, it was
I don't really know what a puddle jumper is.
it was only
small plane.
a little bit bigger than a bus. Like, it wasn't that tiny.
Yeah, I know. It just
I mean, it was
It's-
still a prop plane, but
exactly, yeah. They're less safe than the airliners. Let's just say that.
But that isn't really saying much because airlines are actually extremely safe.
yes, they are.
Like, it's unironically probably one of the safest ways to travel,
Yep.
Oh yeah, definitely.
unless you're going out of country, because then
Nothing's
the
safe
danger
out
has
there.
nothing to do with the plane.
No, it has everything to do with the people.
Yeah.
Oh, where are you traveling to? North Korea. Oh, okay. I won't be seeing you again.
Hey, North Korea likes tourists.
They just don't like letting them go.
Ah. Yeah. No, but like, as long as they don't say terrible shit about North Korea, they're like, yeah, sure, come on over.
While they're there, at least.
Yeah.
I have nothing good to say about North Korea.
No, absolutely
Then you
not. I'm
practice.
just
Then you practice the rule of if you can't say anything nice, don't say anything at all. You will spend the entire trip
Exactly.
mute.
People need to learn that rule more and more.
Yeah.
Looking at you, crazy leftist Twitter.
Hmm.
So speaking of crazy shit, did you see that the Georgia Guidestones got blown up?
yeah.
I
That was
don't know anything about
funny
that.
as hell. That was fun. Do you know what the Georgia Guidestones are?
Nope.
Okay, they're these esoteric Stonehenge-style things built during the Cold War by some rich psychopath trying to start a new world order. They had a new 10 commandments for a new world kind of thing, like keeping the population under 500 million and all sorts of other crazy commie gobbledygook.
Yeah.
And someone blew them up.
Yeah.
Finally. Did I say that part out loud?
But to get a little bit more into it, basically in, I think it was 1980, this guy just approached a granite company and said, "Hey, I want to make this crazy landmark. Will you do it for me? And so the company was like, it's like, this dude's crazy. So they gave him a quote that was way higher than anything they'd ever done before. And the guy just like, all right, that sounds good. Let's get going.
And there are these 4 giant columns with a column in the center. And it lined up with equinoxes, just like Stonehenge. It was the most, and there was supposedly blood stains on it, on the top of it. It was it's some of the most crazy things I've ever seen in America.
But I wouldn't say that it was necessarily like New World Order. To me, what it always seemed like it was if a an apocalypse were to happen, the idea would be that these guide stones would essentially give people instructions on how to prevent another one.
Mm-hmm. Sort of.
Yeah. So the 10 Commandments actually seem fairly reasonable. Like, okay, so maintain humanity under 500 million in perpetual balance with nature. Guide reproduction wisely, improving fitness and diversity. Okay, eugenics, but
I mean,
Keep going, and I'll point
Yeah.
out how all those are Nazi talking points.
Unite humanity with a living new language. I don't like that, but
Mm-hmm.
uh, rule passion, faith, tradition, and all things with tempered reason.
what does that even mean?
That one has me perturbed, I guess the word would be.
I just don't
And,
know what
I
it
mean,
means.
It's
It
saying that
means they control what you worship, how much sex you have,
Oh.
and
No.
well, that's the way I've always interpreted it.
to me
They
it says, whenever you practice passion, faith, and tradition, do it with tempered reason, or in other words, don't be excessive. That's how I'm reading it.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, because temperance is basically moderation.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Protect people and nations with fair laws and just courts. Let all nations rule internally, resolving external disputes in a world court. Avoid petty laws and useless officials. Balance personal rights with social duties. Uh, prize truth, beauty, love, seeking harmony with the infinite. And be not a cancer on the earth, leave room for nature.
I just want to point out that world court thing.
Mm-hmm.
That's a one world government kind of talking point.
Yeah.
Stuff, the people trying to push a one world government have used that exact talking point.
But I mean, the important thing here is that they do mention that only external disputes are resolved in a world court. So
Yeah, so country to country disputes.
Can
Because
I
they
say
did say like let all countries rule internally.
the Nazis had the same exact talking points.
well, whatever. But what I really want to say though is I was really hoping to one day visit the Georgia Guidestones because it would have been just a neat place to visit. But guess not.
Yeah.
It weirded me out,
Mm-hmm.
so I'm not happy or sad they're gone.
Yeah.
I'm very indifferent towards it.
I don't think that destruction of anything historic like that should be celebrated.
I wouldn't call them historic.
I would because the history behind them is interesting.
Yeah. The main theory right now is that it was like evangelical radicalists,
Mm,
mostly because one of the candidates for some position in Georgia, one of her big, campaign promises was to was and is to destroy the Georgia Guidestones.
uh,
And she is very much an evangelical, let's make the United States a Christian theocracy type person. But basically, those guidestones offended a lot of Christians who thought they were like some satanic thing.
okay, but radical Christians think everything is satanic. They thought
Yes.
popcorn was satanic.
Yes, I know.
I wouldn't call them satanic. I would call them unnatural. Not unnatural.
Yeah.
No, that's not a good word for it. To me, every time I read about them or I read the tenets on them, I always thought the same thing. This is wrong. This feels just wrong.
Like, to me, a lot of the things they say are kind of vague enough to be interpreted however anybody wants. Some of them I very much disagree with, like the eugenics and single world language. I definitely disagree with both of those.
Out of curiosity, what's wrong with the single world language?
That is actually a New World Order talking thing.
Yeah, but like,
Yeah.
what's actually wrong with it?
Because we lose the individuality of each nation.
Yeah.
The language is half
Yeah.
is a strong thing with each language.
Yeah,
Okay.
and I'm also someone who believes that diversity in language is a beautiful thing. So
Mhm.
losing diversity in language is,
Okay.
not a good thing.
Like, I can see why someone would think that making only one language would be good because it simplifies communication.
Right. Yeah.
And like, there's this, I can see the reasoning behind it. I don't necessarily agree with it, but I can see the reasoning in like, if there's
Yeah.
only one language, that's one less thing for people to get up in arms about their differences.
Yeah.
It goes in line with the one world government or one world religion thing, though.
Mhm.
Yeah,
It's
but
something that's
that shouldn't automatically mean that it should be shot down, is what I'm saying.
you know damn well it'll never fly, though.
I know.
Hmm.
And it's like, again, I don't necessarily agree with it, but I also do not agree with the notion of automatically shooting down an idea just because people that you don't like support it, basically.
Yeah, no, for me, it's not about people that I don't
Yeah.
like. It's about the fact that I fundamentally disagree with it.
Yeah, and like that's fine. I'm just like referring to the whole shooting it down because it's a New World Order talking point.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think it's a dangerous and very slippery slope to
Mhm.
even go down. Because if you start doing that, where does it also lead to?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
that's why I will always bring up this talking point. Like, you know how the left currently in the United States wants to get rid of the Second Amendment
Yeah.
and take away our right to arms? Okay, by taking away that amendment, that right, that means that will let the Republicans, when they get back in power, take away any amendment they want.
Yeah.
They could take away the 13th Amendment. They could take away the 16th Amendment if they wanted to.
Could you specify which amendments these are?
Women's right to vote and slavery.
And also, technically, we have removed amendments in the past.
Yeah, that's called repealing.
Just not the
Yeah.
Bill of Rights. Those are the ones that are untouchable.
Well, wasn't prohibition part of the Bill of Rights?
No.
Nope.
I think it was the
I thought it was an
21st
amendment.
Amendment?
Yeah, that was
Well-
like the 21st or 22nd Amendment.
Yeah. But I mean, later we did another amendment to
Yeah.
remove.
Like either
Prohibition.
prohibition was the 21st or 22nd, or the one that removed it was the 21st or 22nd.
Yeah.
Yeah. It gets muddled after a while with
But it
especially with
definitely
prohibition.
was not part of the Bill of Rights.
Okay. Yeah.
No, Bill of Rights: freedom to speech, freedom to religion, right to bear arms, freedom
Yeah.
of press, right to assembly.
Freedom to not let soldiers force themselves into your home.
Yep, that's the fifth one.
Yep.
That's part of the fifth
Yeah.
one.
It's funny because I actually have interesting opinions about the Second Amendment.
Go ahead and voice them.
I am in the boat where shall not be infringed is shall not be infringed.
So, in my opinion, according to the wording and grammar and syntax and historical context, I don't think they intended the Second Amendment to apply to anyone that wasn't in a militia.
Yeah, that's kind
We
of.
are the militia, though.
No.
But no, we are not.
No, we're not.
I don't know about you guys, but I am.
No,
Are
you're
you
not.
part of the National Guard or your state's defense force?
Rome, wow, I just said my name in my own city in my video. I've never done that before.
Good job.
The way we work here is if we need to defend the city, we are part of a militia instantly because of the New York State sheriff shit. So
Well,
I guess every citizen of New York is part of a militia.
I guess that's fair. But as far as I know, in order, from what I've researched, in order to be technically in a militia, you have to be part of either the National Guard or your state's defense force. Those are the current militias in the United States.
Yeah, so the thing with the Second Amendment, it's like I do like fully support gun rights. I believe that people have a right to defend themselves. I believe that people should be able to shoot someone who threatens them. But I don't think that the Second Amendment is what protects those rights, because the Second Amendment is intended not for like private citizens, but for people who are actively and currently defending their nation or their state or whatever from
Right.
an invading force.
But that also, that same amendment also stands. It's the will of the people to take down a tyrannical government. That's
But
where
we're
we
not
let
doing
people
that
as
yet.
militia
That
come
is
in.
not part of that amendment.
Also, no.
What
Yeah.
amendment is that? I know
It
that's
isn't.
one of the amendments. It's something.
So let's see here. If I remember, let's see if I can remember the full wording of the Second Amendment. A well-regulated militia being vital to the defense of a state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed.
There's a lot of commas in there that make it different.
Yes, and some versions of it in other state constitutions
Also,
have commas in different places.
it should be noted
Mhm.
that it says a well-regulated militia. Private
Yes.
citizens that are just automatically drafted into being a militia is not a well-regulated militia. I'm sorry,
is not.
Phoenix.
Oh, that's why you have to train.
Oh, yeah, but that's
Yes.
not the point. The point is that you are not
Am I the only one here who actually knows how to fire a rifle?
possibly, but
Probably.
the point is that you are not in a well-regulated militia because you are just a citizen in an area where if something happens, you become part of the defense force that is not well regulated.
Another important grammatical point is that they use the phrase "the people" rather than "a person."
We are
Which,
the people, though.
right, but that
Phoenix,
could also that could also imply group ownership within the militia itself, because that's what would have been the standard at the time of the writing.
You have to remember, the founding fathers also encouraged people to buy warships and cannons.
Right,
Farmers to buy warships and cannons.
Yeah. but that also wasn't the standard, right? Back then, the standard for it would have been that all the all the regulated firearms were in the barracks or whatever, and kept and
Cannons were
maintained
kept
by
in
the people.
the cannons were kept in the barn.
Well, yeah, but I'm just trying to say that for the historical context, what they would have been thinking of would have been the militia over individual ownership of firearms.
also, Phoenix, you were incorrect. That amendment that I was talking about is not the fifth, but the third.
It's the third. Well, I don't know them. I just know them. I don't know where they're numerologically located.
I'm on the page for the amendments, and I'm actually reading how they're worded. And
Which is the one that
I do agree with Nate on the Second Amendment.
I think every American should be forced to own a gun. That's what I think.
No.
I know it's
No.
radical. It's a very radical thought, but think about it. Everyone would be very polite to each other, knowing everyone's packing heat.
That is a recipe for half the country getting shot, either by
Yeah.
accident or on purpose.
Eh,
Because, okay, do you really trust people to own a gun safely?
No, that's why we own a gun to make
Okay,
sure, because I don't trust people who own guns.
No, it's not them attacking you. It's them hurting themselves.
Yeah.
Because if they're all forced to have a gun, then that precludes any sort of training whatsoever.
Mhm.
It precludes any sort of mental capability of responsibly owning a gun. It precludes any maintenance training. And a poorly maintained gun is more
A very
dangerous to the
dangerous thing.
user.
I know.
Is more dangerous to the user than it is to the person it's being aimed at.
No, I know that. Now, what if it was part of a law or something, or like in schooling, to be taught how to use these things?
Even then, you
No.
have people with depression, with
Yeah.
other problems.
Yeah.
And I would even argue teaching them how to use a gun could be pretty
Irresponsible.
bad. Yeah.
Yeah, I do not agree whatsoever with forcing people to own a gun.
I don't actually mean force, but it should be
You said
encouraged
force.
and not condemned. I know, but I'm also drinking a bit tonight, so I'm a little loose-lipped.
Now, like, it should be clearly stated, I am all for gun rights, but
Yeah,
I
I am
disagree
too.
with the talking point that it's the Second Amendment that protects those rights.
Yep.
Then what protects these rights? To own a gun and to defend ourselves.
Hopefully, federal law.
Yeah, but as it seems to go, we can't even trust our own federal governments.
I mean, it really depends on what the issue is. Again, like, people misunderstand all these amendments because
Yep.
they were written in a time where it wasn't really much of an issue if a random citizen owned a military-grade weapon, because military-grade weapons were not that great.
Have you seen
They're
the
still
pocket
not.
gun? I raise you the pocket gun, which
I don't
was
know
like
what
a
that is,
machine
but
gun of
I
the
don't know
time.
what that is, but also outliers don't really count for anything.
Yeah, no.
It wasn't an outlier; it was a major weapon back then. It was a rotary cannon.
Mm.
It was one of the. It was like if you had a ship, if you didn't have one of these on it, you weren't doing the ship right. And I'm pretty sure they could have been mounted on carts like regular cannons, except they were small. Boy, they could rip apart a ship.
Hmm.
They could rip apart people. Why am I always overburdened?
Also, did I get the wording right on the Second Amendment?
A well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed.
Yeah, I think I replaced one word with another, but
Yeah, that's
I
fine.
got pretty close.
The thing is, it's the funny thing is, anyways. At least I think it's humorous. What matters most with that amendment are where the commas are placed.
Yep.
Yeah,
That's like no one cares about what the wording is. It's where are the commas? What do the commas mean?
yeah,
And like I said, you take away that amendment, that's just going to set up the grounds to take away other amendments.
yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
a super slippery slope. Do you really think if the Republicans get back into power, they're going to play fair after what's been going on these past few years?
No, but the Democrats and Republicans have never really played fair with each other.
Nope.
Yeah.
And I expect, especially if the way things are looking, a lot of I don't want to say pro-Trump because they're not really pro-Trump anymore. They're like overzealous Americana kind of thing. Like dangerously zealous.
Yeah.
You get these people in power, I can't believe I'm going to say this. I'm going to sound like a Libby. But the far right-wing radicals. You get one of those in power, you really think they're not going to do the same thing that's going on right now to you?
Yeah. Also, for anyone in the audience who is confused at what was just said, remember, just because we are slightly right-leaning does not mean that we are right-wing radicals.
Yeah.
Oh no, I'm not a radical. I'm a centrist who's getting scared with each passing day.
Same. Also, like, random question, but it's sort of tangentially related. How much was $20 in the 1700s?
A lot.
Yeah, a lot.
Because, like, the Seventh Amendment is like, in suits at common law where the value and controversy shall exceed $20, the right of trial by jury shall be preserved, and no facts tried by a jury, blah blah blah. And I'm just thinking, how much would that be today? And why is
What
it
part of it was that? I didn't
where
catch.
the value and controversy shall exceed $20?
I mean, I was just saying, like, what part of the document or whatever.
Seventh Amendment.
Okay.
I think that would be around $1,000 now for back in the 1700s.
But it's still written
Maybe
as
more.
$20.
Yeah. Okay, maybe there are some things I should be.
Let's see here. 1789. 20. Let's see.
All I know about yield money from the 1700s, a powder wig costs more than a cannon. Let that sink in.
$17.89.
The Seventh Amendment guarantees jury trials in federal civil cases that deal with claims of more than $20.
Is that one that's like you have the right to be juried by a jury of your peers?
I believe that is 6. Hang on. In all criminal prosecutions, the accused shall enjoy the right to a speedy and public trial by an impartial jury of the state and district wherein the crime shall have been committed, which district shall have been previously ascertained by law, and to be informed of the nature and cause of the accusation, to be confronted with the witness against him, to have compulsory process for obtaining witnesses in his favor, and to have the assistance of counsel for his defense. That's just the Miranda rights.
Oh, so
Yep.
but what you just said, that means the Democrats are breaking that civil right
Oh,
by
probably.
keeping the people who stormed the Capitol in prison the way they are.
Oh, probably.
Shame on you, Democrat
Yeah.
powers that be. Shame on you. I wag my finger at you.
Yeah. I looked it up. The value of $20 in 1789 is equivalent to $664 today.
Wow.
That was close. That's 400 off.
That's not close when
Yeah.
that's almost half of what you were thinking.
Yeah.
Okay, I just shot out a random number though. It'd be only 400 off. That's impressive to me even guessing that close. It's more than halfway. I
wonder what would happen if you just went back in time to back when $20 was worth that much and just started throwing 20s around.
That would be very strange because notes have changed a
I
lot
know.
since then, and so of
I know,
course.
but it's still
Who the hell is who is this?
No, they'd be more
person
concerned
on the
about a
bill?
woman doing it. They'd be more concerned about a woman
Yeah.
doing it, to be fair.
Yeah,
true.
that's a good point. I'd say I do, but
that might
That'd be
be
also
even
worse. The only people that could actually do it are Nate and Phoenix.
Yeah.
Quick, we need to get the time machine.
I just want the time machine so we can get Certinex out. That's my only concern. Most people want a time machine to go warn someone about assassination or to go visit their ancestor, and I just want to get my game out.
See, I would never do any of that because the butterfly effect. If you stop someone from being assassinated or kill someone in history, God knows what repercussions are going to happen.
Now,
Yeah.
see, when it comes to time travel, we're back on time isn't real again, but when it comes to time travel, I follow the Back to the Future model where it's timeline based, not
Yeah, I agree.
not time loop, basically.
Yeah,
All
you
time
create an
travel
alternate
has
reality.
already happened.
Yep.
We are in the best reality.
Oh God.
Are we?
Or we're in the worst
That's the
reality.
scary
time
part.
travel never
No,
got
that's the
invented.
scary part, right?
No, wait,
What if this
we
is
don't
the
know.
best reality?
We don't know what the best reality is because who says that we're automatically going to be in the best reality? We could just be a blip in some time traveler exploring timelines, and they just haven't noped out yet because they've been captured by North Korea or whatever.
No, but if you go on the stable time loop thing of time travel, what if all the time travel has already happened, and for all their efforts, this was the best they could get?
Oh, I see what you're saying. No matter what, things could have been way worse than this. You're saying
Yeah,
they fixed it, so it's even as bad as it is. This is the best timeline you're going to get.
yeah.
It's a scary fucking thought.
People in the audience, prove you're watching. What do you prefer, the timeline model or the stable time loop model?
I'm going to be
Nobody's gonna
honest.
comment.
I've always gone with the idea of the way Back to the Future presents it.
Yeah, Back to the Future is timelines.
Oh, but now I want to see a story with my premise.
Frankly, though, this is the best timeline. Did that basically implies that we're still doomed no matter what.
Or
Yeah.
hold on, what if that's the best timeline subjective? What if it's
Yeah,
the best
it is.
timeline in their eyes?
Yeah.
Well,
Some kind of crazy lunatic go back in time to change it, so we end up in this crazy bizarro world.
Then either they're crazy or pessimistic.
Yeah.
Or they're the villain.
Exactly.
Plot twist: the time traveler was me.
No, I know that's not true because we would also get the game out.
Good point.
We would time travel to when one of us actually has the funds to go move in with the other.
No, I time travel to when you'd actually have the maps finished.
I'm working on it.
You know what I would time travel to?
When?
See who actually built the pyramids, or how they were actually built.
Hmm.
I don't believe in any ancient aliens thing with that.
I don't think it's aliens. I'm just curious how they actually did it because
It's
they're
dragons,
perfect.
clearly.
I think
Oh,
that
Lord.
we actually have a lot of ideas, like that when you put them together, you're like, oh, that makes sense. Like,
So you're saying it's aliens?
yes, that is exactly what I'm saying.
You did it.
No, but like floating the big granite blocks down the Nile on rafts, that's fairly well understood to have happened. Um, and stuff like building up big ramps out of sand to build up the upper layers. That's
but
pretty
wouldn't the
well
ramp
understood.
have to be like insanely long to make it so
Yes.
it's like that? I would love to see that. I don't like care how it was done. I would just love to see it.
Yeah.
And it turns out that it actually is aliens. The
Oh
plot
my
twist is in the universe. We actually are, the ancient aliens people are actually correct. We are descendants of aliens, and it is all true.
Yeah.
That's the worst case scenario of me.
Yeah. You know, one of my favorite theories regarding the whole ancient aliens thing, is a lot of ancient aliens are just us time traveling.
Yeah, that's
And,
no. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
I
what
like
I've
that
heard
one.
too, yeah.
A specific part I like with that is the idea that the star that the wise men followed in the Bible to get to Jesus was a time traveling observation post.
Yeah. Like that's if we had the ability to time travel. All that would be one of the first things
Yes.
people go see.
Yes.
Birth of Christ.
So they'd probably put out observation posts there
Mm-hmm.
because there'd be millions of people that want to see that.
Exactly.
Billions.
Look at all the historic Renaissance paintings. They always had paintings with UFOs in the sky.
They did.
They were just time travelers watching the world.
Yeah.
Another one I like the idea of besides aliens, the interdimensional people coming from other realities.
Yeah.
It's their way of traveling into our world.
Guys,
Time
what
travel makes more sense though.
if the whole Roswell thing was just someone trying to figure out what the fuck it was?
They inadvertently caused it.
Yeah.
Didn't? No, wait. Futurama was an accident. That's right. I was going to say, wasn't that done in Futurama? But no, that was an accident. So basically, in Futurama, Fry uses a microwave at the wrong time in the Galaxy Express ship. And sorry, words are difficult. Anyway, he uses the microwave at the wrong time. It turns the ship into a time machine. They end up crashing at Roswell, and Fry ends up becoming his own grandfather.
Ah. And I really gotta watch Back to the Future again sometime.
Back to the Future is a perfect movie.
It is.
Even the sequels are great.
It's one of the few, series of movies where all three are just perfect.
Uh-huh. And I know a lot of people don't like the Western one, but that one's my favorite.
I think the second one is my favorite.
The second one's great. Anytime you go to the future, was just such a good movie.
And it's like,
I've watched them all, but I don't really remember very much.
yeah, the two series that come to mind when with that sort of like, all three of them are just brilliant. Are Back to the Future and How to Train Your Dragon. Even though I do have some quibbles about How to Train Your Dragon, like it's just that good. Like I will forever maintain, How to Train Your Dragon could have benefited from 30 more minutes of runtime. Just explain
Yeah.
things a little bit better, foreshadow things a little bit better, and just not have some of the more contrived conflicts. Like there really should have been something that, like for example, there's in the first movie they establish a wet dragon head can't breathe fire, and that appears to never come up again, except for like if you really look into when Toothless is underwater, and this is actually something that I paid attention to because of CinemaSins, because he sinned the fact that Toothless hadn't chewed or laser breathed his shackles off yet, and that just made me think, wait, he can't laser breath his shackles off because he's underwater.
Hmm.
But they never telegraph that.
Hmm.
Since we're on that, actually, no, I can't bring up that because you guys haven't finished watching it yet.
Hmm.
Probably Game of Thrones. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. I've been rewatching the whole series because the House of the Dragon coming out next month. Why not just rewatch it all again? And I'm on season 4 currently. And those first seasons are so good.
The first episode was like a really, really good exposition episode, and I want to world build as well as George R. R. Martin does.
Oh yeah, he's a king of world building. Like I've basically been on vacation this whole week, and I went to a bookstore, Barnes and Noble, and I got what's it called, Fire and Blood, the book.
Yeah.
It's basically like a textbook about the Targaryens, and the world building alone he does in that. It is so good.
Yeah, because I have a roleplay world that is probably my best candidate for world building like that, and I just haven't really done that level of development with it because I'm so focused on the stuff that's happening in the quote unquote current time and establishing like background stuff for some of the dragon related things, because that world is basically just an Age of Fire AU with some various things from other franchises thrown in. Like big one being Aragon, and the big one being How to Train Your Dragon. And
if you look at Game of Thrones, all Westeros is Lord of the Rings with tits.
yeah,
That's all it is. You got dwarfs, you got dragons, you got giants.
I'm not sure that the dwarves count.
Fair enough, because those are like real life dwarfs.
Yeah.
And if the show did it right, you would have had elves, but they decided to go full zombie with the White Walkers. Because in the books, they're not even called the White Walkers in the books; they're called the Others.
Hmm.
And the White Walkers are the zombies they create.
Ah.
The Others are like the best way I can describe it is snow elves.
Ah. So Falmer.
Yeah, exactly, the Falmer.
Before or after the fall?
Before.
Ah.
Because like they talk about the language, like this is like in the first book, in the actual Game of Thrones. They talk about how their language is like the sound of breaking icicles.
Isn't there like don't the Starks sometimes speak in some other language sometimes?
The old tongue.
Yeah. Is that
they speak in the tongue of the First Men.
Ah, okay. Man, like,
And it's
The only
Wait,
reason, the only reason I got into Game of Thrones is because I love myself a good, well-animated dragon.
Lord, no. I mean, they really did a good job with the
Yeah,
dragons.
you can
HBO.
feel the dragon's presence, especially
Mm-hmm.
the big one, Drogon.
Drogon. Like, that's why I'm so excited for House of the Dragon, because I think they said 13 dragons in the series.
Mm.
And I know you're afraid of getting spoilers with it, but it's not tied in any way, shape, or form to the main series.
You say that, but like with side series like this, there's always going to be some sort of callback or something that does spoil if you haven't seen it.
I'm just trying to like actually think, especially reading through the thing that they're basing it off of. None of it ties into the current story at all.
Yeah, but I'd rather not take the risk, especially as you just said, they changed things in the HBO adaptation of Game of Thrones.
Mm-hmm. Oh god, there's so many great storylines they did not use. Like so many great. Lady Stoneheart. Oh god, HBO, why? That's a huge book spoiler, but not a show spoiler. Do you plan on ever reading the books?
Possibly.
Oh, then I won't spoil it.
Okay.
It's one of the greatest. I don't even know where it goes because he hasn't finished writing the books. And did you hear that the Game of Thrones is actually getting a sequel series too?
I did not.
Yes, it is, and I'm shocked. I'm happy, but I'm shocked.
Oh, they gotta compete with Witcher somehow.
Yeah.
Even then, they don't have much to compete with. I mean,
Witcher
Netflix
is good.
butchering.
Witcher,
I know Witcher is good.
like
They're butchering it.
even through the butchering, it's a good show. It's
If
probably
they didn't have Henry Cavill, that show would have flopped. He's
honestly,
the only one
it's,
keeping the show on
it's
track.
probably the same sort of thing with Aragon, where it's god awful if you've read the books, but it's good on its own if you haven't.
Didn't it?
I wouldn't even go that
No,
far.
I don't think it was because I think
It was
it
a bad
got
movie.
awful reviews
It
when it
did,
came
was
out
but like
destroyed.
it did,
from
but
people
like
that hadn't read the book. Like
I
even
know,
people that
but
didn't
like
read the book were.
for like the age demographic it was going for, which was like teenagers, I think it was okay. It's
Maybe.
worse if you had read the book, but
Yeah.
it was mediocre at worst if you hadn't.
Do you know what's another good series like that where the book is phenomenal, but the movie was god awful?
What?
Mortal Engines.
I don't know what that is.
I watched that movie. It was so
It was-
weird.
The books are phenomenal. If you ever get the chance to read the books, read them. Even though I will say this author needs to learn how to end a book. The first book ending was perfect, but then the second, third, and fourth, he didn't really know how to wrap up a story right. It's like, oh, now it's over. It just left you wanting more.
Okay, so that's kind of how the Divergent series went.
Oh, I don't like the Divergent series.
I like the books. I didn't actually watch the movies because I was disappointed by the Hunger Games movies.
Oh no!
Yes.
I might be one of the rare who love both movie and book. I read the books first.
I don't dislike the movies, but I wasn't totally impressed with them. And I'm one of those people who also just kind of likes the Maze Runner series more than the Hunger Games series.
I was full Hunger Games. Have you read the new book of the Hunger Games? The
No.
prequel?
I haven't
It's
read
super
anything
good.
that came out after Mockingjay.
You gotta read Songbird, Ballad of Songbird and Snakes. It's so good.
Maybe eventually, but like, nah.
You could wait for the movie next year too.
You think I watch movies?
I don't know. You've been nursing Game of Thrones for how long now?
Yeah, exactly. Do you think I
Like,
watch
I want you
anything?
both to finish it so I can bitch. Like, I want to have a dedicated episode just bitching about Game of Thrones.
Oh
When it
man,
comes to
that's
watching thing, like whether it's movies or TV shows or anything with me, I'll go through a thing where I watch like 10 episodes, 20 episodes in a row,
Mhm.
but then after that, it'll take me a week to watch like a single episode.
Yeah,
me
that's what
with
I do too. I
Legacies
binge
right
them.
now.
I wait for a whole series to be out, then I binge it. And then I will just go like on a drought where I won't watch TV shows at all.
That's me with
Well,
Legacies
it's not
right.
even that with me. Like, sorry, go ahead.
That's me with Legacies right now because I was browsing Netflix and saw that there were new episodes, and those new episodes were the second half of season 2, I think, and all of season 3. And I binged the rest of season 2, watched a couple episodes of season 3, and then just kind of stopped, and I haven't gone back to it since.
Um, but what I was trying to get at is that like what'll happen to me is I'll start watching something, then get distracted, then come back to it, realize I don't feel like watching the rest quite right now. Then like the next day watch a little bit more, again get distracted and leave it
Mhm.
and just keep on doing that over and over again to where it takes me like a week to watch a movie.
Yeah, the same thing. Oh, it doesn't happen with movies, but that happens to me with TV shows a lot. Like that's why if I'm not sitting down to binge it or watching it on a weekly progress, like actually watching the episodes come out, I'll never get to watch the end of the whole series.
Yeah.
So I know y'all don't like. I have a hard time watching shows, but I'm going to suggest a good show, Westworld.
What world? Oh, West. Okay.
Westworld. It's really good.
What's it about? Because I've
No, I'm
heard
not
of
going
it.
to
I've
answer that.
just
I'm not answering
Yeah,
that question.
I know a little bit about
If you
Westworld.
tell you even a whisper about what it is, it spoils the whole premise.
Yeah,
mm,
like
It's like
I
one of
have
those things you
heard
have to go in
that
blind.
whisper. Yeah, I've heard that whisper and like, yeah,
You have to go in blind with this show.
yeah.
eh.
It's science fiction. That's all I will say. But not like future sci. Well,
It is.
it's it's something that could happen in 10 years,
Mm.
especially with how tech companies are.
I feel like that gives it away a bit.
Yeah, that gives away a bit of the first episode twist.
That's okay. You're not really
I mean,
selling me on it anyway.
see, the thing is, I don't think you would actually like it because you're not into. You're more fantasy than.
No, I'm sci fantasy.
Yeah, this ain't sci fantasy. This is hardcore sci-fi.
Hmm.
You like westerns?
Not really.
See, that's what drew me to watch it originally because I enjoy a good modern western story. Then it was a twist, and I was like, "Holy shit!"
It sounds like it's one of those things like like Madoka, where it starts out one way and then like halfway through it just turns the entire premise on its head.
I mean,
No,
no.
no, I won't. I can't say it because the big reveal of what it all is at the end of the first episode.
Ah.
So okay, so I'll explain the premise of the park. There's this amusement park called Delos. It's for the most rich and powerful. You go there and you have free reign to do whatever the hell you want. The thing is, the parks are populated with androids. They're near lifelike. Like you could. This is going to be dark, but this is literally the show. You can murder them, you can rape them, you can do whatever you want to them, and it's all fair game because they're androids. And only the rich and powerful are allowed to go there because the tickets to Delos are ridiculously expensive. Now, what happens when the robots start becoming self-aware?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
That's the whole premise of the show. And it's phenomenal.
Okay, you
It's
say
based off a movie
that
from
it
the
could happen
70s.
in 10 years, but I'm just thinking about all those people who play games and hate picking the meme choices because they don't want to hurt the characters' feelings and thinking they would never do this stuff to androids in large amounts.
You got a damn good point there. But the whole thing is the show explores the darker parts of humanity and how far people will go.
I am
And
one
you
of
know
those people.
Huh?
Oh, I'm one of those people that has a hard time picking the mean
Oh
choices
yeah,
in
me
video
too.
games.
Me too. I will genuinely feel bad.
I made and posted a meme on the Sardonyx Twitter a while back that was that like Uno meme, and the card said, "Be mean to Mary or draw 20."
Draw 20.
Like I have more empathy for a fictional character than I do real life. That's bad.
That just reminds me of how I described Lucifer as a show to my IHS worker, where I said that it takes a very human look at the devil, and like there are other ways that like I was trying to explain it to her, but that was the clearest and most concise way I could do it.
Mm-hmm. It's a fair point. That is a great way to describe that show.
Yeah.
And it's also somehow tied in with DC because it's based off a DC comic.
It doesn't really tie into DC all that much.
No, not even the comics. The comics are their own thing too.
Like I understand that it's part of the same universe, but it still doesn't really tie in at all.
Earth 666.
That's actually a completely different Earth than the one that we see in Lucifer the show.
Oh, okay. So they just use the same actor to play Lucifer.
Yeah. Like it's supposedly like Lucifer if he hadn't run across Chloe, who is his love interest in the show, obviously, because he's a much darker personality in the crossover clip.
I was so happy to see that in that clip. I forget. I just know it's based off Flashpoint.
Right. Yeah. But yeah, I looked into it, and the Lucifer that we see in the crossover is the same Lucifer, but in a different Earth compared to the show. Makes sense. Because otherwise, he would have made some. He'd like make some remark about one of the people that comes to see him and how he reminds him of his brother Amenadiel. And I feel like he would have said that somewhat differently if it was the exact same Lucifer, because the relationship between Lucifer and Amenadiel goes under a lot of strain and changes throughout the 6 seasons of the show.
You like Supernatural?
Not seen it.
You might like it.
I've seen a couple episodes of it. It's all right.
It was it was the show I grew up on.
Are you part of the Super Hulock fandom?
I keep trying to get into various Netflix shows, and I either drop it because it's not terribly interesting, or I drop it because it's starting to get into character dynamics that I just feel awkward with, or it's just not catching my interest as much as some other thing. Like I tried to watch Breaking Bad, and I do enjoy it, but it was getting to the point where like I don't want to watch Walter White deal with his marriage issues.
You don't like that kind of stuff.
Yeah. I feel awkward on behalf of the character. Because I'm very conflict averse, and I don't like just those kinds of scenes.
Yeah, I never watched Breaking Bad, so...
It's a good show, but I just don't want to deal with it. If that made any sense.
It does.
But the Super Hulock fandom is a fandom that's fully convinced that that Supernatural, Doctor Who, and Sherlock are fully connected shows.
Oh no, I don't go for that because I don't even like Doctor Who.
I like
I've never
Doctor
seen
Who.
Sherlock.
Nate, remember when I spent like an inordinate amount of time finding ways to connect literally every piece of Digimon media, only to
Yes.
realize, oh wait, they literally had a multiverse season. I'm gonna ignore
Yep.
that.
I do remember that.
Oh, that's bad. That sounds easier than trying to connect the Pokemon game timelines.
No,
Yep.
that's easy.
I think they came
Well-
out with an official timeline.
Yeah, they came out with that in like Gen 5.
It was. I'm pretty sure it was Gen 6.
Gen 5 or 6, yeah.
It was like
It
a
was Gen 6.
nebulous
That
gap
poster.
between Gen
Fuck.
4 and
Oh,
Gen 5.
But we do have confirmation that Gens 1 and 3 take place simultaneously, and Gens 2 and 4 take place simultaneously.
mm-hmm. And I think it's 5 and
It was Black 2 and White 2 and X and Y at the same
Yeah.
time as well.
right.
And then you get weirdness with the Let's Go games, because like you would think that because you're experiencing the same plot threads as in Gen 1 that it would be taking place at the same time, but Red and Blue have already gone on their journeys.
Mm-hmm. That's why I don't consider Let's Go part of any timeline.
Well, like, I think Let's Go is its own timeline, and there's a theory that I think Loxton did where Let's Go is the continuation of a timeline in which Ultra Necrozma was not stopped, because there's like some glimpse of a Big Bang thing in some area, and there's something weird about it. I think that it's like shaped like Necrozma or something. And
In Let's Go?
yeah, I would have to look it up again because I wasn't paying too much attention because I haven't played Let's Go. I want to, but I just haven't had the ability to justify it yet.
I played through it and I don't remember anything like that in there.
It was like some background piece, some poster on a wall. I think it was the Pewter Museum or the Cinnabar Lab, one of the two.
It could have been just an Easter egg too.
It could have been, but like
run.
Pokemon has already established that timelines exist.
Mm-hmm. Unless the game's a flop and then it just pretend it doesn't exist.
What?
Once the game is a flop and they just pretend it never happened.
No.
I think it's just a case of it taking place at the same time as Red and Blue in its own timeline.
Yeah, but then like Red and Blue were kind of born earlier. Because they definitely
Oh
older.
yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's like I'm pretty sure that there's 3, maybe 4 different timelines going on here. And we have the Gens 1 through 4 timeline. Then you have the Mega Evolution timeline, which I do consider Black and White to be part of for various reasons, but whatever. Then there's the Let's Go timeline, which may or may not also be whatever the fuck is going on now, where we don't have Mega Evolutions. But except we do have Mega Evolutions because they're in Let's Go, but we don't have access to any Mega Evolutions after Gen 7, and it's just confusing because is this a separate timeline or is this a timeline?
Yeah.
Is this the same timeline as Let's Go and Mega Evolutions are just kind of gone now?
I think
And
it's
now I
maybe
just think you're overthinking it.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
I
of
think
course I'm
it
overthinking.
boils down to Game Freak not knowing what the hell they're doing story-wise, and they're just making Pokemon games.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that they do have a story in mind. It's just that they try out mechanics, they judge how well they're received or how well they impact the meta. Because let's face it, megas were okay for the meta when they came out, and then they just started making megas for already powerful Pokemon, and they broke the meta so bad that we had to make an entirely new tier.
Yeah.
I mean, let's face it. I mean, what they did for Rayquaza was uncalled for.
Yeah.
You can Mega Evolve without an item.
Yeah, but you can't you can't Mega Evolve it if it has a Z Crystal.
Can't?
Nope.
I didn't know that.
So
That's kind of that's kind of fair.
Well, I mean, it
though.
makes sense since you'd have to pick one or the other.
yeah.
Like, so can you imagine a Z move coming from a Mega Rayquaza?
Yeah, but
That
the
would
point
literally be broken.
the point I'm making is that by the end of the Mega Evolution thing, we had the ability to use a Primal, a Mega, and a Z move all in one team.
Which I think is okay.
I mean, we add G Max to that now, and
No,
what the fuck is going on?
Let that die. Let that one die.
I don't mind G Max. I just hope that it stays in Galar.
It
Because-
probably
Into
will.
Mega.
Because it is definitely a Galar specific mechanic.
Mhm.
I don't
Yeah, that's something that can't exist outside of Galar.
correct. I don't mind G Max. I think it's a little dumb that they replaced Mega Evolution for it, but I don't mind it by itself.
Well, the next trailer for Scarlet and Violet's going to show the new gimmick that replaces that, so.
Yeah.
And the next trailer, from what I've heard, is inbound next week. And some people have already seen it, and there's things about it already online, if you know where to look.
I'm not
Whoa.
going to look for it because a lot of them are likely going to be trolls, and I don't want to get my hopes up for anything.
I stopped looking because unless it's coming from Coup or one of the other ones I sort of in with, I won't believe it. But the thing is, those ones are either tight-lipped or Coup's gone full Zodiac Killer. So
That said, like, I also have just stopped caring about the leaks, even if they come from reputable sources.
that's why I haven't been sharing any. Oh my god, I hate the fucking Night Lords.
I mean, since it does actually apply to us, is there actually anything regarding Eevee?
I don't know. I want to say yes. Like that's something I think the anime is going to do. I'd say the next episode. I think it's going to be the next episode of the anime.
Actually, I think I know what you're talking about, and that's next month.
It's next month?
Yeah.
I don't.
Because
I don't.
because the next couple of episodes are Masters Tournament.
Okay. I guess it's between when Ash is going to be fighting Steven, I think. And it's going to have an episode dedicated to her, Eevee, and her father, and talking about evolving her Eevee into something.
Speaking
everybody
of Masters
thinks-
Tournament, speaking of Masters Tournament, big effort, Olan.
Guys,
Oh,
Who
God,
really
yeah.
shouldn't?
guys,
That was a trolling the fans because everybody wanted to see the Ash Alon rematch. And it's like, nah, we're
Now let's
just
just
going to
go with Leon.
And Leon beats him with a non-Mega Evolved Charizard.
guys,
Yes.
what if Pokemon goes full Digimon and lets Pokemon reverse evolve? What if
Good
that's
lord.
what if that's what's going on with the Eevee? Because if it can't decide, then it just goes back to being an Eevee and picks a different one.
It could do what Red's Eevee did in Pokemon
Yeah.
Special.
Yeah.
No, so that one was really weird because I can't remember exactly what happened. I think his Eevee was like experimented on.
Hmm.
And so its DNA got even more unstable, so like it could just switch between
So
the various evolutions.
it's kind of funny that you say that because that's kind of exactly what's happening with this Eevee.
Ah.
Mhm.
But eventually the Eevee got better, and he ended up evolving it, I believe, into an Espeon, if I remember correctly.
Well, I mean that makes sense because he had an Espeon in GSE.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying it.
Yeah. But like, it's funny that you say it like that because that's kind of exactly what's happening with this Eevee. it
Let's see
it was in
here.
a research lab. It got out, and they're describing it as maybe this Eevee's DNA is just a little bit more unstable.
Except it's
I real
unstable and not allowing it to evolve.
like
Oh,
I don't
actually,
know. Go ahead.
his Eevee was able to revert back to Eevee. Let's see here. As an EV, V was genetically modified by Team Rocket to have unstable DNA, allowing him to evolve into Jolteon, Flareon, and Vaporeon, and back into Eevee at will. Sometime prior to this chapter, the emotional trauma was healed, and he permanently evolved into an Espeon.
The only I won't even call him a lead because I don't trust the sources they're coming from. The only thing I've ever seen about Eevee is a normal evolution. Every time we get a new generation, there's always a normal
Yeah.
type of evolution coming.
Or a dragon one.
And yeah, our dragon one.
Yeah, we still need the dragon to complete the special types here.
Yeah. I
Mhm.
remember when Sword and Shield was coming out, you kept saying that you had a source that said
They
that.
did. They kept on saying Steel and Dragon type that was supposed to happen.
Hmm.
So completely unrelated, but Klonoa Fantasy Reverie series just dropped.
Good.
Hooray!
Everybody go buy it to tell Namco that we want more Klonoa.
I can't afford it.
Oh,
Also, I don't really like that style of game very much.
fair. I just want more Klonoa.
I know.
So I've been really examining the new legendary Pokemon.
Yeah.
I want to make them into needle felt figures. And I just realized something with Miraidon.
Just
It's
remember,
the first time we've ever had a Chinese dragon.
I don't think that's a
No.
Chinese
If you
dragon.
look at it really closely, it looks just like a Chinese or Japanese long dragon.
1, no. 2, Drampa.
And Dramp is more of a luck dragon to me.
But still a Chinese
Gyarados.
dragon.
I will count Gyarados. Drampa, I will argue against. Gyarados, I will go for because Gyarados is a Chinese dragon.
Okay, like it's
But
Drampa's
Miraidon is not.
Japanese name is like literally Gigi Long, and that's
Oh,
a very Chinese dragon name.
yeah. Did I just see? Oh.
The only reason I know Drampa's Japanese name is because I nicknamed a trainer's Drampa that.
Just the way I was looking at Miraidon, it has the horns of a Chinese dragon with its electric horns. It has the 3 fingers, the 3 toes. That would be Japanese long dragon.
Okay, but like just so does Rayquaza,
Quasar doesn't have feet.
but it does have the serpentine body shape and weirdly like shaped horns and 3 fingers on its hands.
Yeah.
But it's missing its back feet.
So it's most
Chinese
closely
dragons and
based
Japanese
on
dragons.
it's most closely based on a Japanese dragon because Japanese mythology literally has storm dragon gods.
And also, you allowed Gyarados here.
Yes,
I do allow Gyarados.
you allow Gyarados, you have to allow Rayquaza.
Especially since Gyarados has no arms.
Yeah. I mean, that was my point. Like you.
I know. I've
refused-
just seen Gyarados as that paper dragon puppet thing.
Well, listen, just because it has a serpentine body shape and electricity horns, and just because it has 3 toes, that doesn't make it a Japanese dragon. That just makes it a
It just
Pokemon.
feels more. I've just been trying to figure out what the hell they are, and a long dragon or lung dragon, whatever you pronounce it. That's what it feels most like to me.
No, I don't see it.
That one, anyways, not Koraidon. Koraidon's a own can of worms.
Koraidon is some. Okay, they're both Agama lizards. So,
Gamma lizards.
yeah. Or rather, they're fan-throated lizards.
Okay. How do I know what that is? I know what that one is. All I know is I regret not doing Koraidon first because that would have been so much easier than Miraidon.
Yeah.
And I have to be so extra where I'm actually making them have articulated limbs.
But yeah, they feel more like draconic lizards than they do like dragons.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I really don't think that Miraidon is a Eastern dragon.
No.
I think the only way we're going to be able to say hard no to that is the way it moves. Of course, it's still just going to be a fucking motorcycle. Like, that's the only gimmick I know about for this is the gimmick with the legendaries. And there are multiple forms and typings.
Someone drew fan art that even more just shows that Miraidon is a Primogen but a motorcycle.
I want to know who designed these and why motorcycle dragons.
I mean,
Like,
there's this whole
because
trend.
we need to play card games on them.
There's this.
We're in Pokemon 5Ds now.
There is this whole trend with dragon types where for some reason half of them are vehicles.
Yeah, that is very true. It's just some of the strangest inspirations. It's like they're not based off any mythical creature I can figure out from any culture. And I know we determined what dogs were after the fact. Odin's hunting hounds.
Yeah, actually, we kind of knew that beforehand.
Right.
I'm sure it'll come to light at some point, but also they might just not be based on anything mythological.
Yeah.
Or they might be based on something mythological, but it's not really apparent in just their designs. Because Koraidon feels like it's based on something.
Which one's Koraidon again? No, okay, the past dragon. Yeah. Like, it definitely has an Aztec feel to it. Or Native American in general.
Yeah.
South America and North America.
Oh boy, of course, someone's made a protogen of Miraidon.
Of course they have.
Just thinking of just weird inspirations for trainable monster games. You should see some of the monsters in Telefang.
Yep. One of them is basically just Sandslash.
Yes.
I really want to make a monster collection game.
That would be neat.
You can throw Voidwalkers in for a fun little Easter egg.
I mean,
Seriously,
obviously.
just put them in everything you do.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's lore accurate.
I'm putting them in Flight Rising, and I don't even run that game. Like, I know that you guys saw it, but I'm just gonna show it again.
Will this preview the image in the article? The answer is no.
I like how
So let
crypto
me
is
just
basically just a sand slash.
yeah.
It's a cute version of Sand Slash.
Yeah. Just for preview purposes, I'll do that. But crypto is one of the mascot Denju. The one for the other game is Fungus. Should I link
Speaking
the
of,
page?
while you're looking that up, speaking of Pokemon-like games, I'm going to be starting Coromon soon.
Nice.
I'm very excited for that because the more I see it, the more it's cute. It's Pokemon, but different.
Yeah. But yeah, that's Fungus there.
Interesting name.
It's cute.
All the Denju names are based on different plants.
Ah,
Son of a monkey.
but fungi aren't plants.
I know. Let's not get into that. There's one named off of viburnums. That's neat. Man, Denju tend to be so weird.
Yeah, they're basically Digimon, but not.
Yeah.
Oh shit! Excuse me.
You okay?
Hard seltzer.
Hmm.
It's it's something.
Trying to find some crazy evolution in this.
You say that they're all based, or they're all named after plants, and then I just see arm crab.
Okay, all was a bit of
You
a
haven't heard of the arm crab flower before?
My favorite flower.
Yes. Now Watcher actually is a plant called the arm crab.
right.
Arm
I
crab
would
is
eat
a
a
combination
shoe.
of arm and crab.
I would eat a shoe if that was a real plant.
I think it's like like the machine Denju that tend to be not based on. Well, Super Denju also. Well, no. I don't know. Most of the names are based on plants
There's also a
and
Ketsu King.
plant adjacent things.
Ooh. It's just an Amaran.
I think Punica
Man.
had some hilarious evolutions. Yes, it did.
I like how there's like the bootleg of Telefang is so well known that this list has an entire column for what they were called in the bootleg.
Yes. I would argue the bootleg is more well known than the original.
Yeah.
Not as much as it used to be. It used to be a pretty notorious thing, and then it lost relevance.
I think part of that is that an actual Pokemon Diamond came out.
Yeah. Look what Denju evolution is like.
Yep. I'm looking at that Super Denju and I'm just like, that is a Digimon. It looks like a Lopmon without its arms.
Yeah.
Mm. Oh, fuck.
What?
Getting surrounded by maulers.
Mm.
There are things you don't want to be surrounded by.
Ah.
Because they can stun lock you and wipe your health down in one or two hits. But if I can resurrect them, though, that's a formidable army.
Oh, by the way, like going back to the Flight Rising thing for a minute. So every month except for in December, Flight Rising has an elemental festival in which like a specific elemental flight is celebrated, and there's like skins and stuff that you can get, and they always outsource the skins to the user base, and that's fun. And I'm kind of making one. I don't think it's going to get accepted, but I'm hopeful.
Hmm.
I'm just making a primogen.
Oh, good lord.
Eh. I'm thinking of calling it Virtual Raptor.
This one's too big for a screenshot of the evolution. But look at the evolution of that.
I mean, I can screenshot just fine.
Well, I'm only looking at it on my phone
Ah.
because I only have one screen today. I feel naked without my second screen.
I'm almost dead. I should pay more attention.
Guess you should.
But yeah, just like Cannonope. Fucking has treads.
You know, there's a lot of Pokemon knockoffs out there. Very few do it good.
I
Like,
object
we'll
to the
say
term Pokemon knockoffs because
Yeah.
monster catching games.
the what?
Monster catching games.
Yeah, monster catching, monster collecting, whatever. But like, just lumping them all under Pokemon knockoffs is doing a lot of them a disservice.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
fair. I guess it happens. Everything. Wow, English much. Every shooter is a Doom clone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you really want to split hairs, Pokemon
Megami
is in itself a knockoff.
Shin Megami Tensei.
Technically Megami Tensei.
Right. I forget.
Could also call it a bit of a knockoff of Earthbound in a way too.
Yeah.
Well, I've never been a fan of Earthbound. I
I
might get crucified for that,
I
but
really like Earthbound, and Mother 3 is a life-changing experience.
I respect it for what it is, but I just could never get into it.
That's fair. It has a very unique way of telling its story.
hmm I just always had a hard time getting into old school JRPGs.
That's fair. Sometime though you should try to play Mother 3. It's really good. Like
I think my
I wasn't kidding when I said I really do believe it is a life-changing game.
I'll keep it in mind. I think my first taste of JRPG style games was Phantasy Star
Okay.
or Shining Force. I don't know which came first. It might have been Shining Star.
You mixed up the names there.
I don't know. Fantasy Force. The one that's science fiction. I think that's Phantasy Star.
Yeah, probably Fantasy Star if it's science fiction, because Shining Force was very much
Fantasy.
is a fantasy series.
And a really good one, too.
My only real experience with Shining Force was the demo for Shining Force Neo, where you get to hear over and over again, "Hot stuff coming your way! Hot stuff coming your way!"
I see the original. The first one had no voice acting, except for "huh" when you bump into things. You're walking on the overmap. No, that's a thud, thud, thud. Good games though.
I've never played them, so I don't have an opinion.
It's worth it. Oh, thank God, the portal, so I can shut down this game. I'm getting a headache. And we are at 2 hours, so.
Oh, we are. Wow.
Yeah.
So if anybody wants to start wrapping it up, now is a great time.
Eh.
All right, let's go for another 2 hours. Let's go to 4 a.m.
Yeah.
Okay.
No.
I would never ask to do that. We did that
We
once,
learned
and we did that once, and it was painful. That was I would never. That was the longest I ever recorded a video.
If we do that again, I'm going up to turn off your power.
Oh no! Next time we ever do a video like that, I will say we need to just do that in parts,
Or we need to start earlier.
Yeah.
which is hard for me to do.
I'm surprised
So-
I never got any interruptions.
Mhm.
Oh, just I'm somewhere new, so
Oh.
I'm with my dad. I'm surprised I never got any interruptions.
Ah.
Well, this sounds like a good place as I need to wrap it up.
Yeah.
Should we say the new Minecraft series could be starting sometime soon?
No, probably not.
No?
And I don't know when I want to start that, so.
Oh, whenever I'm ready. Like the series I was doing is over, so I can do the new Minecraft series whenever you guys are ready for it.
I'll talk to Wim about it.
Okay. I don't know, I'm too tired to do an outro. I've been up since 7 o'clock.
All right. Bye, everyone.
Bye.